YouTube's happy. Here we go. Go live. And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. Vlogcast comes from a skeptical point of view to answer some of the questions of why. This vlogcast started as a combination of spite and the Streisand effect because coffee is good, and my good friends know me very well about my coffee. And why is that important? Because as a Christmas gift, I know, it's a little late now, but timing with things, they got me a thing of coffee and a French press. And I think a couple weeks ago, I probably talked about the craziness I was trying to do to get a French press at the shop. Couldn't. Oh yeah, and part of this is to follow through with the old adage that sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. I'm your main host. I'm known as Shujin Tribble, otherwise known as Mr. Jitterjuice. I'm gonna go with that one. You want to get in touch with me, you can find me pretty much everywhere under that name. That's Shujin. Hi. Yeah. I'd otherwise show you the big box that it came in, but this French press is, I forget what it was, 32 ounce? I think. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was significant in size, so this is going to prove to be interesting. Being able to join me at the moment from the Midwest of the U.S., Brigid Fitch has made it. Good evening.
Good evening. It's 4C here tonight, so it's not too bad.
Oh God, I didn't even double check. It got cold over here. Weather. In my current locality, -4C.
Eek.
Yeah. Yeah, with very, very, very light wind, so there is no real problem with wind chill, at least not at the moment. Let's see. And the current weather in Yellowknife. A balmy -29C. Yeah.
Eek.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you live in Yellowknife, you kind of expect this kind of thing to have happen. So, all well and good. They're happy. You know, the joke could be that with temperatures that low, internet speed slows down because all those packets, they're cold and takes longer for them to move around. Except that the colder the wires get, the tighter the ions get, so it should move faster, one would think. But what do I know? I'm not in data transmissions these days. Be nice, that'd be a nice paycheck, but that's neither here nor there right now. So, hi everybody. It's good to be back with you. Yeah, it's cold, but we're here. We're kind of ready to go. It is just us at the moment, so we'll see how long the show ends up lasting. Speaking of which, by the way, if you want to be with us as we record the show, you can be over there in the live chat, which would be really nice. So, Stephanie, good morning. Didn't ask, by the way, how's the insulation doing? I haven't checked up on the weather and whatnot for you guys, so I don't know if it's supposed to be doing any much good for you or not. I'm assuming it's got to be doing pretty well for you anyway. And Mooncheeks has made it. Good evening. Yeah, over in my personal Discord, I put up a couple of pictures and a video. I was getting some stuff at the grocery store tonight, as I do, on Saturday nights, coming back from being with friends. And there's some great things to pick up over there. Like, let's see, there is a mint Arrow bar, which Arrow, as I recall, is usually Canadian. I think you can find it in the UK as well. I don't remember off the top of my head. There was Coffee Crisp, which is tougher to find on the side of the border. It's not terribly common, but you can find it. But up Canada way, it's like, I mean, it's great. I don't know if that's in the UK also, but I got one.
Good stuff.
And good stuff. And count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 different versions of Tim Tams. And I got two of them. I got the mint and I got the original. Now, for those of you that don't know what Tim Tams are, I highly advise you to look up Tim Tams because they are one of the most delectable things you can ever put into your face hole if you enjoy coffee. What did you think about this for a second? Tim Tams are rectangular. So the way it was taught to me from a large gent, like 2 meters plus tall, large gent, you bite off opposite corners, just a little bit. You dip one of those corners into your coffee, you pop the other corner into your mouth, and you slurp until the coffee starts to come out into your mouth, and then you pop the whole thing into your face. And it is the most decadent thing you can do. And if you want a sugar hit with a lot of coffee and a lot of sugar and a lot of chocolate and a lot of just that's what you do.
I wish I lived closer to Canadian border so I could go get some stuff.
I know. If you get lucky, I mean, it's entirely possible you might be able to find it at a local store. Maybe, maybe not. I'm lucky because, New York is a border state with Canada. We don't necessarily need razor wire, of course, but that's a whole other thing. We've got the Great Lake Erie, which, I mean, sometimes it's dangerous. I mean, you could just ask the crew of the Edmonds Fitzgerald. But I mean, worst comes to worst. I mean, you could always just look up the website for Amazon.ca and order something from them, and kind of work it from there.
That's true. They have better flavors of potato chips up there too.
Oh my God, we're not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. Oh my God, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. The fact that they have barbecued spare rib flavor chips. We're not gonna go into that because oh my God, it's so good, so good. It's so good. Backtracking just a little bit. Let's see. Stephanie saying the installation is wonderful. No more cold spots, and I have to turn down the heating. I think I say on behalf of both of us, bravo, bravo. That's good. Tim Tams can be got there. Mooncheeks. I don't remember whereabouts you are, but I do know that you're on the state side, so good on you. Lucky that. 32 Fahrenheit, North Carolina. Seeker. Hey there. So yeah, you're 32. So 0 in real numbers. Cool. Check out Bo the Fifth Com. Warnings, smart to listen. Yeah, there's that.
I love Bo.
He's good people. He's good people. Oh, right, and there is one other thing that I have to do. Those of you that have been paying attention to the horrible scopes last week might remember that I was talking about hats because somebody challenged me because screw you. And I mentioned that I would very much like to remember to bring in my Australian riding hat when my wife and I had gone to Australia. And we were going to be coming back from Sydney. And for us, it was going to be a flight from Sydney to Narita, Narita to Detroit, with a layover in Narita, which we actually rented a room for a couple hours so we could actually have a nap. That was great. But I came back from Australia in the flat, plastic packaging and whatnot, an oiled canvas riding jacket from the company Dryzabone. It survived a lot of years of being used, 3/4 of the year, just like as a daily, wearabout, until it just started to break because of the joints flexing and whatnot. Oiled canvas, I mean, pretty much anything. You flex it enough, it breaks, and that's kind of what happened to it. So it literally fell apart from use. I mean, I got no arguments. It survived a lot of years. And I would love to get a replacement, except for two small problems. One, they're expensive. Even in Canadian dollars, they're expensive. But item number two, they don't ship outside of Australia. I think they'll do New Zealand as well, but I can't buy one here. Somebody had made a suggestion. If I get in touch with Jake for Wharton, maybe I could send him money to buy it for me and then to ship it from Australia here. Maybe. I don't know. Well, you know what? One of these days, when I have discretionary capital again, which is going to be a little while, maybe. We'll see. We'll have to see how that plays out. But in any case, that's a great thing, because this hat I had to buy separate here in the States after the fact, because I didn't buy a hat at the time. And I'm going to tell you something. I look good in this hat. Which means if you're listening to an audio version of the podcast, you need to come over to YouTube so you can see it's a good looking hat. It really is a good looking hat. It's lasted a long time. Anyhow, how about I get things rolling and then we get started, because I never fixed the well, now see, this is what happens. I got busy with other stuff, and I didn't have the show title wasn't supposed to be showing at the start of the show. This is what happens. I'm looking right at the thing on the screen, didn't even register in my head. So, you know what? All right, fine, whatever. We'll do the 5-minute freestyle, we'll come back, we'll do the horrible scopes, and we'll kind of work from there. So let me go ahead and do that. So 5 minutes on the clock. Your 5 minutes starts right here. School. At the shop, at the donation shop, I get a lot of things. I get a lot of interesting things. I mean, accordions, not so unusual. Movies, player piano rolls, not unheard of, but I got a couple of pieces this week that were educational material. And I'm going to use scare quotes on this one, educational material. It was homeschooling books from the part of the publishing information said that it was from Focus on the Family. Now, for those of you that are wincing super hard, I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to kind of compose yourself. So those of you that don't recognize the name Focus on the Family, go ahead and take a moment to look them up. You gone ahead and done that? You got the bile in the back of your throat right now? Good. You're right on the same level as the rest of us on this one. Focus on the Family is another one of these incredibly religious groups that says, well, we can do it better ourselves because we've got the sword of God in our hand, or deep in our throat, or whatever the hell it is, and everything's going to be fine if we just go ahead and teach kids right. I don't even know where to begin. Oh, right. Yes, I do. One of the most successful television series, educational television series, here in the United States has got to be Sesame Street. Sesame Street, when it started, was an amazing piece of educational television. It was designed for the kids, especially inner city kids, to be able to pick it up on PBS stations, public broadcasting stations, and learn. Basically the equivalent of pre-K, so that when they got to kindergarten or first grade, they're pretty well ready to go. They've got a great step up ahead, and they're ready to learn because they've already been learning some. And it was a great thing. And it was a piece of educational entertainment that was easily 2 years in the making before it even went to record. And Sesame Street broadcast the same year that I was born, 1969. It came out in September. I came out in March. I know that's really probably not a really nice way of putting it, but you know what? You call it what it is. So with the way that things go, for me, I guess I just don't understand. Why are there groups that think that they understand education better than people that have studied the topic, that have literally written treatises, written studies, written educational material, and found out what works and what doesn't work, and have implemented those for the betterment of our youngest, most needing minds? And then there's these other groups that just say, no, we can do it better. We know. All we got to do is just base everything on, well, what we grew up on, which is perfectly fine. Because religion. Now, yeah, there are other reasons for groups to do homeschooling, and I get that. There are some people that have been homeschooled, and you know what? I have met a few who were homeschooled by people who were themselves educators before. And I'm all for that, because they understand. They understand the awesome responsibility. And I don't say that lightly. Children, the youngest of minds, the only thing that separates children from adults is that we have experienced more and they haven't. So if we're going to bring up the best, the brightest, the ones that have the most potential, shouldn't it be with the guide of what actually works? You need to go to school to learn how to run a school. And if you haven't done that, you are absolutely abdicating your responsibility to these young lives. Don't do that. You know, one of these days I'm going to actually have an opening that's going to be like fun and uplifting and you know, going to be entertaining and have people actually, you know, not ready to spit bile at the screen. And today it's not that day yet. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen sometime soon. Just not today. Sorry. So let's go and get the fun going at this point, because it is time for the horrible scopes. So for those of you that know what your astrological sign is, cool. Those of you that don't, it doesn't really much matter. You can just roll a d12 if you really need to do that. And if you need a d12 with all the little funny squiggles and whatnot on it, get in touch with the nice folks over there at Heart of the Game Fredonia. They'll sell you one of those d12s. They might not be able to ship it to you, but they'll take your money because it's all good. Or, you know, go visit them out there in Fredonia. It's the shop with the mimic in the window. Trust me, it's really there. I would know. I took a selfie with it while it was behind the glass, because that's the only way that you should ever take a picture of a mimic, while it's behind glass. And you're not. So, hail Fredonia, home of the Blue Devil. Let them know I sent you. Now, these horrible scopes are going to be published for the world on February 8th, meaning it's about to be Hearts and Hooves Day, or St. Valentine's Day, or Jack Benny's 39th birthday, or half-off chocolate day. Whatever it is that you're celebrating, or not, as the case may be, let's give you ideas on what you can do this week. Additionally, some of you got secret Nat 1s or Nat 20s from the SM. The scope master, that would be me. So, I'm sorry in advance. Aries, take a half day at work, then head to your local coffee shop for lattes and pastries. It sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? Well, you got one of the nat ones this week, which means bad things are about to happen for you. So this week, buy a box of powdered coffee creamer and keep some on you at all times. You're about to find out in the worst possible way that you have a low-level lactose intolerance. And you'll excuse me while I drink my coffee more.
Taurus, treat yourself to a dinner out. It doesn't need to involve anyone else. Reserve a table with a view at a restaurant you've always wanted to check out. Just make sure you ask for that specific west-facing window seat. So this week, find out what time sunset is for your locality and make your reservation 20 minutes before it happens and enjoy the view.
It's assuming that there isn't a building in the way. Gemini, if you're the industrious sort, maybe you can make a new business just in time for Lover's Day. Outfit a decommissioned ice cream truck into a rolling library with coffee shop. Advertise a book club with Bay event where there'll be lights and warmth and coffee. Oh, and make it specifically for adults only. So this week, only stock smutty reading. And keep mental notes on which couples are reading the magazines from House of Gourd. They're the ones that'll be fun later.
Cancer Moonchild, how about a stay-in night this week? Remember how you used to go to the local Chinese food shop, place your order, then walk next door in the video rental place, get a movie, pick up your food, then spend the night enjoying it all? Yeah, not us either. Weird that, huh? How about just using one of those food delivery apps and having dinner sent to your door while the snow starts? So this week, oh wait, you got the other nat one. Well, hell, looks like your food's not getting to you since they shut down the roads. At least you still have peanut butter and jelly, right?
Yeah, believe it or not, Wednesday nights used to be exactly that. My wife and I, we'd go up to one of the plazas. Yes, an actual strip plaza. And there's a Chinese restaurant, and right next door was a Hollywood Video. So we'd place our order. All right, we'll be back 10, 15 minutes. Okay, cool. Go get a couple movies, come back, get our food, drive home. It was great, man. I kind of miss those days. But you can still get Chinese food. So, that's that. Leo, here's a little something special. Some restaurants offer, and I'm going to butcher this pronunciation because I don't speak French, I'll say it again, prefixé? I know Moon Cheeks explained to me how it's supposed to be pronounced, and don't type it, I'm not going to read it. I forget how it's pronounced. Prefix menus in honor of Valentine's Day. In other words, a meal of several courses at a fixed price. And we're guessing it'll be more a week-long offering instead of just a single night. So this week, check your bank account and make sure you can afford this dinner out. Because who knows, you might even like it.
Virgo. Admittedly, this one kind of requires you to have a partner, but it's still possible to do this one alone. Host your own bake-off challenge. There's no lack of TV shows or YouTube videos or cookbooks or subreddit threads to get recipes from, but give it a try. Always wanted to test out the soda pop and cake mix combinations? Well, here's your big chance. So this week, as tempting as it might be to buy a big brand name stand mixer for $400 for this event, just don't. The $20 5-speed electric hand mixer is just fine to use. And if you didn't understand the naughty undertones there, you really need to use that electric hand mixer more.
I hear you smiling. I hear you smiling. You are not that innocent. I hope. Libra. This is going to be a really tough item for a lot of people because it's lost its luster since the days of mixtapes have fallen by the wayside. How about building a playlist of music you know you enjoy together? It could be Sappy Sweet, or Disco Mama Smooth, or, Screamo, or, like rage metal, scream metal, or maybe some hate metal. How about some thrash metal? But, the older stuff, because, the older stuff was better than the super processed modern stuff. So, yeah, make a playlist. So this week, if you take a half goat person out on a date for ice cream and they bring a rose for you, do not be put off if they eat the flower because they're nervous. There is a reference there. When this goes out and published, I will make sure that information is out there so people can understand the reference.
Scorpio, it's going to be game night for you this week. There's plenty of tabletop and computer games out there you can have fun with, even naughty fun with everything from Dirty Dice to Erotic Truth or Dare. And Scorpio, have we got great news for you? You got the only Nat 20, so this week, pick your game wisely because you're going to win.
Sagittarius, speaking of playing games, how about you take the night out to hit up a local bar and do a trivia night challenge? Doesn't matter if you can't remember any of the answers, just have a fun time coming up with the most outlandish and plausible wrong answers. So this week, remember, the only winning move is making a trivia contestant blow their drink all over their table. And if you think I haven't tried to do that before, you really don't know me very well, do you?
Capricorn, you don't need to go out to have a great dinner. How about your favorite homemade stay-at-home meal? Does it have to be fancy like chicken parmigiana? Hell no, it could be Kraft dinner or meatloaf, or even just stovetop stuffing and Swedish meatballs. The point is to just enjoy it. So this week, if you're planning on getting Swedish meatballs from IKEA, make sure it's not the vegetarian version.
Did you know that you could actually buy food in their freezer section right at the end of the maze that is IKEA?
I've never been in one.
That's fair. That's fair. Years ago, Tiny Triple and I went through the IKEA out there outside of Toronto, and we got some Swedish meatballs, and Tiny had suggested we get the vegetarian versions too, just cause. And we tried them, and they ended up sitting in the freezer for literal months before we finally broke down and said, yeah, no, we're just throwing these out. We didn't even spread them outside in the forest area behind the house for the animals, because no, we like animals better than that. Aquarius, it's a little trite, but who cares? Plan a spa day. There's nothing wrong with getting a little pampered for a change. Enjoy the feeling of hands gliding across your oiled skin, digging into the muscles, leaving with a feeling of just turning into a puddle in your own mind. So this week, it's okay to leave your underwear on, but it'll really feel a lot better if you just get over yourself. These are professionals working you over. Respect their work.
Pisces, you hopeless romantic, you. You're getting a double because, well, reasons. First, go out skating. Maybe roller skating, maybe ice skating. Either way, you haven't done it for a long time. You need to relearn all that muscle memory and balance, and it's not going to happen quickly. So take your time. And like we said, you're getting a double. So this week, there's nothing wrong with eating a giant ice cream sundae for lunch and having that be your only meal of the day. Calorie-wise, you'll be fine if nutritiously lacking. It's only one day and only one meal. You'll be fine. Just drink a lot of coffee to burn off all that sugar quickly.
I cannot tell a lie. I ain't gonna admit at all the possibility that maybe I've done exactly this kind of thing before, I would never do such a thing because that would be wrong. And those are your horrible scopes for this week. Remember, if you like what you got, it's probably Pisces, because, I mean, who doesn't like having ice cream for your only meal of the day? I'm perfectly sure I have no idea who would ever do that. Anyway, if you would like to perhaps ask for a nicer or naughtier one for yourself or someone else, you can get in touch with me a couple of different ways. You can just send me an email message, get in touch with me on contact, social media and such, or consequently, if you would like to sponsor these, take a swing over to the Ko-fi page. Ko-fi.com/Icarus the Lunar Guard. There's a reason for that. No, I'm not going to explain it. I'll have these posted at the end of the week as usual. Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, BlueSky. Still need a BlueSky invite? Still got plenty. Be more than happy to help you out. Because if nothing else, we know full well, and I'm sure that Brigid will vouch for me on this one. The fellas would love to have you.
Yep.
Because, my God, some of the stuff that they get up to, holy smoke, man, I enjoy the hell out of watching some of the stuff going on. Some of those fellas are, the fella pictures that have been asked for, holy smoke, man, these guys are great.
I guess you've seen the ones with the fishnet stockings then.
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about. But that's another thing for another day.
And the forgers are just hella creative.
Oh yeah. I love it. This is episode 481 on the docket, Your Honor. No cake for you. Well, you see, now if you'd taken a look at the show notes and whatnot, MaximumAtheist has really been on my radar on Twitter. No, I'm not going to call it X because it's Twitter. And wow, there've been a couple of things the last couple of weeks that have really kind of resonated for me, and just okay. And the algorithm over there on Twitter, yeah, there's a lot of times where it's just crap coming my way, but every once in a while, man, there's some really good stuff. So we have MaximumAtheist to thank for this one, and I did put a link to the tweet in, I think it was in the general chat for our Discord, which, by the way, the link for the Discord is available in the show notes too, so you can check that out. However, the tweeted picture said, and I'm quoting it now, "When a Christian quotes the Bible to an atheist, it's called the Word of God. But when an atheist quotes the Bible to a Christian, it's taken out of context." So the whole point of the title for tonight is, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So, are we looking to piss off the religious groups? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because, yes, if this can very easily be from pretty much any religious group that relies on, and yeah, this is probably going to piss off some religious folks, and I don't care, magic. I mean, let's just start off with the Abrahamics. You start off with the first words of the Bible, the Torah. God uttered an incantation, and poof! Oh, look. The universe came out of his hat. Kind of the same way that rabbits don't come out of Moose's magician's hat. That's a very old reference that some people... Kids aren't going to get that reference anymore, are they?
Probably not.
Sad. Then again, considering what they've done with Bullwinkle over the subsequent decades, whatever. It's better that way. Anyway. So, yeah. We've kind of talked about different pieces, and I don't really understand, yet again, why these groups can go ahead and not recognize, I don't want to call it hypocrisy, but really is it anything other than? So, so Brigid, let's kind of have let's kind of have a little bit of what passes for fun on the show, because that means that we get to rag on some of these people. Which I don't even know what title. I was gonna say which pastor, but I don't know that I even want to give him that title at this point. Which shyster would you like to necessarily make reference to in this case, where it's everything's fine, but not when you say it, because no.
How about Sam Locke?
Wait, who now?
Is that how you pronounce his last name? Locke?
Oh,
L-O-C-K-E?
Greg Locke.
Greg.
Greg
Okay.
Locke. Oh my God. Okay. We need to have a... Okay. There... you open with a good one because, man, there's an entire story to go along with this one. Pastor Greg Locke. Holy Okay. So, do you remember how he ended up kind of becoming known through the Beyond the Trailer Park, or the Atheist on Air groupings? You remember all that?
I don't. I just know that he's batshit crazy and, likes to jump and scream and yell and is definitely anti-vax.
Mm-hmm. He is also anti-witch.
Oh, yeah.
Which has been interesting, to put it mildly. Greg Locke, now Pastor Greg Locke, soon to be, what's the correct term for somebody that is involuntarily placed in a psych ward for observation?
Committed.
Soon to be committed, Greg Locke. Gregory. I want to call him Gregory because he's such a cute little kid. Because he acts like a little 2-year-old. Greg Locke, once upon a time ago, wanted to kind of dangle his toes into speaking with some atheist podcasters, and get started, kind of get a feel for what it's like to talk with us. And he wanted to talk with somebody who was going to be basically nice, genteel, would be, open to having an actual honest discussion, instead of, come on the show and, get browbeat or something, which admittedly at the time, if he had joined us, Heretic Woman probably would have. Anyway, Greg put out, or Greg and his, I don't want to say secretary, but I think it might have been secretary, whoever it was that was handling his, trying to get bookings and whatnot, had wanted to get him over on one of our sister podcasts, which was with, no, it wasn't Barroom Atheist. It was with damn it, Bobby and Ms. Ashley.
No religion required.
No religion required. That was what it was. All of a sudden I just drew a blank because it's been so long. God, I hate that it's been so long for some of us. I mean, I get it, but leaving that aside a second. And Bobby had said at the time that, more than willing to, have him come on, and we'll talk, we'll have a good discussion. We're not going to be rabid people, and, you get a feel for how everything goes. Okay. And they had said, Bobby and Ms. Ashley had said that, they were planning on having him on, in a couple of weeks, and cool, we're all looking forward to it. And then it got pushed back, another week or two or whatever it was, and then eventually it was just no contact for a while, and then it was just he's not going to do. Oh, okay. Disappointing, but you know what? Okay. Okay. They never said anything bad about him. They never badmouthed him. And a couple months later, Gregory starts turning up on YouTube and Facebook and doing the whole evangelical, charismatic, yelly, screamy at everybody thing that seems to pull in all the crazies who are willing to give money. I'm sorry, did I say that last part out loud?
Yeah, you did.
Well, you're really not supposed to say anything, publicly in a recorded medium that's untrue. So he was pulling in a whole bunch of people that were more than happy to give him money for whatever reason. And over the few years, what was the term that you used for him?
He's a charlatan.
That's one word. There's a couple of other terms I'd like to use. I want to go with batshit, but
Yeah, he's batshit crazy.
yeah. Mooncheeks is also commenting 5450. I believe that you mean 5150, but yeah, he's a special kind of special, isn't he? Good Christ. Stephanie's asking, grifter? Now, see, here's the thing. I'm not 100% sure. I'm 85% sure that he is, but and I know this is just fuzzy math. I'm also kind of like 85% sure that he's like legit nuts on the heavy duty Christian side. So I don't know how to describe it.
I think he's legit nuts.
It's entirely. I mean, I wouldn't put it all past, because amongst some of the other things that Greg did, I made reference to it already. That at one time he was, I'm not going to say prancing back and forth, but he was definitely emoting out to his audience, which is usually like a bunch of people on like folding chairs under a big top tent with straw on the ground, if memory serves, and strutting back and forth and yelling out at the people and ordering the witches in his congregation to leave because, and I'm paraphrasing, but only just slightly here now, he knows who they are, and if they don't leave, he's going to release their information so that everybody else can take care of them. Now, I'm paraphrasing, but not terribly hard, because, like she said, he's a little on the nuts side. But he is definitely one of those people where he likes to quote scripture and the whole thing, but boy howdy, if ever he was one of those people to actually try to have a discussion with an atheist who like knows how things are written in the Bible, I'm guessing probably wouldn't go over well. I'm wondering, should I even link to his stuff or even put his name in the show notes? Because I really don't want to generate traffic for him.
I would like to see Ra get a hold of him.
Oh, God. This is really mean-spirited on my part, but when you said that, I was thinking more along the lines of, okay, well, first off, Ra is he's a big guy. He's a pretty big guy. And for
Yep.
some reason, I just had this image in my head of Aaron just grabbing him by the back of the hair and holding him in place so that he doesn't get away. Not to do anything other than just, you're not going anywhere. You're going to stay with me. And we're going to have a talk. You know, not to lift him by his scalp, although, oh, that'd be entertaining to watch his super expensive, paid with donations. That's not the right word for it. Scammed money, flailing, you know, under him as he's trying to run away. Just hold him in place. But see, the problem of it is, I don't think that's Aaron's style either. He's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
That'd just be wrong. Oh God, I'm sorry. I've just got a happy in my pants about it, because I would really like somebody to just get Greg just in one place. Just nail his shoes to the floor. Not his feet. Not through his feet. Just the shoes. Preferably in a way so that he can't take them off and he has to stand still. And I say that because I truly and honestly believe that he would be one of those people that would afterwards go ahead and take off his shoes and socks and show everybody the scars on the tops of his feet, so that he can say that yet again he is channeling Jesus for everyone by having his feet nailed just like the Christ was. Yeah, tell me he wouldn't do that. I dare anybody to try to tell me that he wouldn't do that. Mooncheeks is adding. He needs that super strong sweater with the extra long wraparound arms.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that I can say that you're wrong. But I mean, you can. I mean, there are plenty of companies where you can get recreational versions. Not that I would know any of them off the top of my head. I mean, that would be wrong. Besides, last week was the Power 10 episode where I'm allowed to talk about things like that I obviously don't know anything about, because I mean that would be wrong. Not gonna talk about any of that. And Stephanie's also pointed out, it's not Aaron's fault that people think he's Bigfoot. Well, no, I don't think that. Okay, people that are typically in his circles don't think that he's Bigfoot, because most of us don't think that Bigfoot exists. Although, how freaky an idea would it be to think that maybe Bigfoot just decided to hide in plain sight by joining the circus? I mean, those giant clown shoes. I mean, I don't know.
Aaron does make for a good Klingon.
Well, all right. No, wait a minute. I know that we're kind of off the topic at the moment, but has he ever?
Yeah, I've got a picture taken with him.
Oh,
That from one of the cons that we went to. He wore a Star Trek uniform and went as a Klingon.
So, old school Klingon or like revamped Ridgehead Klingon?
I think old school. He looked like Worf.
That would be revamped Head Ridge. That's
He didn't
okay.
have a head ridge though.
Okay. Yeah, that's. If you can find that, I'd love to have that thrown into the Discord sometime. That'd be great. Stephanie's saying, surely you know Aaron's story about that. I don't, and stop calling me Shirley. I mean, you've been with the show how long? You know what? Whatever. It's fine. I've been called worse. Whatever. And Mooncheeks, Aaron, yeah. Single A. So and for what it's worth, and I know we're kind of still off topic just a little bit, but just humor just a couple of moments. Aaron has made a point of making sure that people remember it is a 1A Aaron, and it is not pronounced the same as double A Aaron.
Aaron, right?
And I have to remind myself in my own head how to pronounce it, because he is the only Aaron that I know, and I've had to deal with a couple of Aarons, at least one Aaron, and I had to get into an argument with somebody up here in the Buffalo market because I couldn't get across to them that the name double AR Aaron is pronounced differently than ER Aaron, because they didn't know how to pronounce it separately, and I think that's more a Buffalo accent thing, and me, I know how to pronounce it differently because I tried to learn how to pronounce things in a certain way so that I could one day be on broadcast radio. So this is the closest that I've ever come to being on broadcast radio. Well, no, that's not entirely true, but on a consistent basis. And I'm still getting paid about the same amount for it, so it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and he did legally have his name changed to Aaron Ra. So just putting that out there.
And
He did that before he ran for office.
And he is good, people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna keep admitting to it. I did not do well when we had him on the show. I really fumbled really hard on that particular show, and I still to this day feel bad about it. And maybe one of these days I'll be able to get over myself enough to ask for a redo. I just still feel incredibly embarrassed about it. So one of these days. Again, it's not going to be this day.
He is good people though, and he and I are on hugging terms.
Which is great.
After like the third or fourth time that he saw me, he's like, "Wait a minute, I know your name. Hold on."
And Seeker's saying he's like a big teddy bear. Yeah.
Yep, he is.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that, and how kind and generous he is with people, it definitely shows. And Mooncheek's giving me shit. Just do it, Shu. Apologize and say you'll do better. Easier said than done. I have every intention of doing. It's just not right now. But you know what? Kind of to that angle, though. Aaron is one of those people that he's got a very long series of videos on YouTube discussing different things, and most famously so, oh god, I forgot what the hell it was called. And somebody's gonna have to put it in the make sure it's in the show notes kind of thing. The something about evolution. I forgot what the name of the series was. Balls. I
It was
forgot.
something to do with phylogeny, but I can't remember.
No. The title of the series was something about the. I forgot what it was called, but the overall topic was talking about how religion doesn't understand how any of that biology works in the realm of evolution. That every argument that they've ever had falls by the wayside, to put it nicely, and explains, okay, this is what you're saying in your video. All right, I'm going to let you go just a little bit further. Okay, we're going to stop right here because this is where you've screwed up. And this is what you said. This is what's wrong with what you said. This is how it's right. And if you don't believe me, you can read the documentation that I've linked to you. And the Italian in me can only describe it one way. Mwah. Just, so good. He's just so damn good at what he does. And Seekers also put, just the way he's around the zoo shows how much of a damn good guy he is. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a hard time reading that because for whatever reason, YouTube has added, and if you watch on the video, you'll see it right now, has added this bar over here where you can just put in little emoticons, reactions right there in the chat as you're going. Now, see, the problem with that is that that's right in the way of me trying to read what somebody's put in that very last line, so I can't always read what's going on over there, so sorry. Systemic classifications. Yeah, the phylogeny. Yeah,
Phylogeny.
Okay, now see, now you're just showing off. Don't do that to me. Yeah, I'll remember what it is later. And worst case, I'll look it up because it shouldn't be too terribly hard for me to relocate it. Foundational falsehoods of creationism. Stephanie, okay, now see, you keep getting us on medieval stuff, and now you're getting us on, the stuff I should have otherwise, you're just... I don't know.
Stephanie needs to be a co-host.
Well, I mean, in own way, it already is. So, I mean, yeah. I just feel bad because I should have remembered that, and I was trying to bucket through in my head all these different ways. I knew it. I had the wrong words that was going my way, and thank you. All right, just thank you. God, I feel like such a bad main host because I should have remembered. Should have remembered. See, and I didn't even have any alcohol tonight. I didn't think to bring it out of the cabinet, so I've still got Jameson to try out. Maybe I'll do that in my off time. I don't know. We'll see. It's at the bottom of his list on his YouTube channel. No worries. I'll make sure that I've got the link for the show notes because even though it is a lot of videos and it's a lot of information and it's pretty densely packed, it's not an impossible listen. It's a lot because I mean there are a lot of things that he's had to respond to over the years, but it's a different piece than some of these other online pastors and whatnot who make 12 hours of video, and these religious nut jobs go ahead and say, look, you don't want to believe what I'm saying? Fine. Listen to this video. And I don't know about you, Brigid, but I remember a while ago I had somebody arguing with me who finally said, just watch this set of videos, it'll make everything clear. And I didn't respond at first, and I'm just like, let me take a look and see what it is that you're trying to bring to the table. And it was literally 12 hours of videos in a playlist, each an hour long. And
Uh,
I just, no. No, you seen people who try to make those bad faith arguments on like Facebook or whatever the hell else over the years who try to do exactly that kind of thing.
yep.
And we know that Heretic Woman used to see those all the time too. And I gotta say it again, I goddamn miss her, because when it came to fools like that, she did not allow herself to be sucked into any of that and just had at people. This time of the year is around the time that that she died still. So, you know, this time of the year it still keeps coming back. It's too many years later. And it's still yesterday. So, yeah, these people that try to make the argument that just, you know, just watch these 12 hours worth of videos, everything will make perfect sense then. You know, what do we do? What do we do with these people? I mean, it's been a long time since I've had to deal with it, so I'm not even sure how to think about it anymore, but seriously, what do we do with these people? To try to get them, to, if nothing else, just to realize the absurdity of trying to say, of pointing out, you want to convince me of your of your process of thinking here by trying to get me to watch 12 hours of something that I don't want to. Why should I ever do that? What do we do with these people in the first place then?
I'll let other people deal with them because I don't have time.
Okay, now see, now, okay. But we don't have Heretic Woman doing that anymore. You know, the least she could have done would have been bequeathed her browser tabs to us, but no, she couldn't even be bothered to do that. God damn it. I'm sorry. I still just miss that. I just still miss that. Anyway, um yeah, man. Cuz now I really wonder with the number of videos that Aaron had put out on the, where is it over there? Foundational falsehoods of creation. I don't even remember how many videos he'd done. God, I'm afraid to even go looking it up. I don't want to break anything while I'm doing it. Um, but see now, Stephanie, you're see now you're leading the bit over here. Just send them an Aaron Raw playlist in return. And you know, that's exactly the thing. I wonder how these people would respond to exactly that. So what do you think, hun? I mean,
They
we've
would find excuses not to watch it. They wouldn't bother.
yeah, but oh god, I can't. Oh jeez. All right, all right. To be fair,
I'm not gonna sing.
that's fine. To be fair, we wouldn't we wouldn't watch 12 hours of their videos either.
That's true.
And probably for the same reason. Why should I? Why can't you just make your own argument without me spending half a day being bored? Senseless? I mean, trying to argue in good faith is one thing, but when we're dealing with some of these groups, man, there's no getting around it. The idea that we would both have the same argument for why we wouldn't watch the other's playlist. I don't know that there's even a way of getting through that at that point. It's just damn annoying.
Well, I mean, to me, it's a waste of time to deal with somebody who's willfully ignorant.
Yeah, which is part of the reason why well, all right, it's part of it. Stopped doing that on like Facebook, but truth be told, at this point, I don't happen to have that problem anymore. After I went through a couple of years ago of getting into should I call it discussions? Sure, let's call it discussions on Facebook about various different things where people were just like, what was one of the best? One of the best ones that I ever got into a piss match with somebody for was about a video that had been posted and an article that went along with it about a military veteran who was on a college campus, saw college campus students having their own protest, burning an American flag, and he took it upon himself to get in the middle of it all, to make contact, to take the flag, and I got into it with a couple of people who were cops, who were county cops from, back where I grew up. And I got into a pissing match with him. And it turned out, and get this, it turned out that one of the accounts that was responding to me had some really weird, different personality with the same account. And eventually I kind of caught on, and I'm like, why do you sound like you're two different people? Okay, this is two different people responding to you on the same account. Oh, so you weren't going to point that out at any point all on your own. So, yeah, I got into some interesting ones. But since those days, and yes, I did actually screen cap everything to make sure that I had all my stuff in a row because, I mean, I'm that kind of guy. With all the groups that have and people who have since kind of dropped association with me that way, I don't seem to have a problem anymore. Or maybe it's just a matter that a lot of these people have just moved on to Truth Social and all the better to them. Bye, Felicia. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Yeah, as an aside to that, how much longer do you think it's going to be before that platform finally folds up, do you think?
I think it's on its last legs now. I mean, financially speaking.
That's going to be
But the fellows have infiltrated and gone commando over there. Now, I haven't. but some
Oh,
other fellows have.
have they now?
They have.
You know, we've made allusions to it, and we haven't actually said explicitly what that is. Ex, ex, Go ahead and give the explanation of what the fellas are, so that we actually do get that properly out there. I know most people are already going to know, but I mean, just in case.
They're NAFO, and that's the North. What is it? North Atlantic Organization of Fellows. No, North Atlantic Fellows Organization. Sorry,
You
screwed that
you're
up.
you're probably trying to read off the French translation version. That's the way that works. I'm it's a joke because the translations, the words are in different, or never
But
mind.
it's a play on NATO and call ourselves NAFO. But we have a Wikipedia page and everything, and a website. And we've raised millions of dollars for Ukraine
And merch.
and merch.
And
Yeah, we have
merch.
merch.
You know, the big coffee mugs that say I bought this mug so Ukraine could have a whatever, a tank or
Drones.
drones or whatever the item is du jour. There's that French word. Um,
Yeah.
they're good folks. I still love the fact that was it Russia that was specifically saying that they thought that the fellows were some kind of a CIA psyop or something like that.
Oh, there's all kinds of people who think that. And they're like, yeah, get these dogs off of me. And they're all from Langley, Virginia. They're CIA. I know it.
Not so much. That's so much fun. That's so
Yeah.
much fun.
Well, I mean, it's not like we all changed our locations to Langley, Virginia or anything.
I mean,
We did.
exactly right, because that would be wrong. Nobody would ever go ahead and lie about anything like that on the internet. And those of you that are not watching on YouTube, you're missing out on half the context here. So it's all good. Okay, now Moon Cheeks is giving me shit. It's two French words. Du jour. Okay, I'm not gonna pull a Gomez Adams here. I am not. Mostly because my name is not Gomez. Matter of
But
fact,
we even have merch that say we're not CIA, and the CIA does not exist.
yeah, but they also say birds don't exist. That they're actually drones. So I mean, we're not. I don't know where we're gonna go on this one.
And then I've got a T-shirt that has Central Intelligence Agency.
Oh God, I did not know about that.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's funny. That's funny. And how does this all wrap together with the overall topic? Because there are groups out there that say the NAFO is a psyop, and it's a CIA thing, and it's funded by them, and that's just that's nation state on nation state, and that's wrong. You're not allowed to do something like that. You can't do something like that. Meanwhile, the fellows are just a bunch of guys and gals out there, and non-binary pals, and they're like, no, we're totally not with the CIA. I mean, we would never lie about where we are. We are in Langley, Virginia, the home of the CIA. That doesn't really exist because reasons, and I adore the way that they have just absolutely twisted everybody's brains over there. I love it.
It's been fun.
It has been fun. And so, if memory serves, haven't there been banners made with the fellas on them, where they
Oh,
have
yeah.
gone to Ukraine, and some of the military guys over there have taken pictures with them, holding them in the field and stuff.
Yep. And we've gotten awards too. We were awarded the Lithuanian Star of Diplomacy.
I'd forgotten about that.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That is actually really okay. Yeah. So wasn't there somebody that was going to be accepting the honor on behalf of?
Hmm.
And it was somebody. It was some. It was a some lady from Ukraine, wasn't it?
I can't remember who accepted it.
I don't remember who it was, but I remember that there was concern that whoever it was might have been in jeopardy on because they would have been taking a flight to go over there to accept on behalf of, and then a flight back, and the concern that maybe something might happen in transit or something like that. I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the right one. Anyway, but yeah. See, that's why it's so much fun. You take these ideas, you twist them around, and you can actually have a little bit of fun at people's expenses.
Especially when we start posting about stuff being redacted.
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about. Never do that. That would be wrong.
And I think the NAFO Article 5 is hilarious.
Article 5 is what now?
If one is in a fight, then all go into a fight.
Yep, there's very much that.
So if we happen to see like any, big troll accounts or whatever, then everybody will come in and jump in there. But they'll call for an AFO Article 5. And we'll go to the thread.
Which makes perfect sense. And I hear you over there. Good morning from somewhere deep in the heart of France. Joseph, hello, you made it. Good morning.
Good morning.
I guess
Sorry for the lateness.
No, it's okay. I speak a couple of French words over here and yeah, up you pop. There you go. How are you doing?
Tired as fuck. Yesterday I was in the underground.
Oh. Okay.
In a parking lot.
Okay. You do still have both of your kidneys, right?
I think so.
All right.
Why?
There's an old I don't remember what to classify it as, where people go ahead, they claim that they ended up in a bathtub full of cold water with a incision on the side of their body because somebody harvested one of their kidneys for a black market thing.
Oh, that was last week.
Okay, now see, you were on it. Okay, I don't need.
Good morning.
That's great. That's great. Good morning.
No, I was downstairs. I rented a closed a box, as they call it here.
Okay.
A closed parking space, and I'm using it for storage space.
Oh, all right. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I was down with my laser level drilling holes for shelves.
No, I got you. I'm sorry. You said you were down there with your laser level, and the first thing that was going through my head was, wow, aren't we all kinds of fancy? And then all of a sudden I realized, no, man, you can get one of these for like $10 and it's like a nothing. You pop a couple of AA batteries and it's great. And I just kind of happened to get over myself because it's like, well, shit, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, well, my first instinct was to do it old school, but then I looked at this thing on the shelf in the hardware store, and I'm going, yeah, what the fuck? But it's a life changer.
Yeah, it's. Who knew that we'd change the world with a simple light back in the late 60s.
Yep. How to make everything in your apartment level when everything in your apartment is not, including the walls.
But at least gravity still operates the way it's supposed to.
Sure.
That's my story.
If you follow the level, if you follow the level of the floor, you know, it's just normal that everything's supposed to slide off the shelf. It's perfectly flat with the floor, right?
I mean, you get some marbles, so you can figure out exactly what works and what doesn't.
I see an idea for a Rube Goldberg trap.
Totally not going to do that. Totally not going to do that.
So what's today's topic?
Well,
that I missed. Where is everybody?
Well, it's you, it's me, it's Brigid, it's the folks over there in the chat. I'm sorry, chat guys. I'm sorry. On my screen, your live chat is actually on this side of me, and I have to keep reminding myself that I need to point on this side because the video is left to right flipped, and I still have not. Thanks over there, guys, with the webcam stuff over there, Discord. So screw y'all over there. Just let me reverse the flip.
Because you have to look them in the eyes when you're reading them.
Something like that. So what topic-wise was another tweet that had come out from MaximumAtheist, and that's what got things started over here. The tweet again was, when a Christian quotes the Bible to an atheist, it's called the Word of God. But when an atheist quotes the Bible to a Christian, it's taken out of context. So we try to...
The context being the atheist not being a Christian? And if being a Christian is the context, yeah. Well, I guess.
I suppose so. I think a good portion of it is things like perfect example. Christian wants to talk about the story of Moses, how great and wonderful Moses was, and how powerful, and he had the power of God on his side, and he was able to do all the things that Pharaoh wanted him to do, and you know, still Pharaoh had to be punished for everything. Okay, well, does God allow us to have free will? Well, of course. Doesn't it say over here that God hardened Pharaoh's heart, which then brought down all the plagues, including the death of every firstborn Egyptian male? Well, you're just reading that out of context.
Well, Moses in general, he was a bit of a prick, and he was a horrible tour guide.
I'm not going down that road. I'm not going down that road there now.
I mean, 40 years, Jesus. It'd probably take him 10 years to visit the Louvre.
Well, I mean, it does take a long time to go through the Louvre, doesn't it?
Well, at least his exhibit's there from his time.
That could be.
But what's the point of quoting the Bible?
Basically,
it's a book.
Well, yes, but it is a foundational book for a belief. Whether the belief is right or not is immaterial. That book is the bedrock. That means that everything that comes out of it has to be right.
It's a book.
Well, yes, to us.
I mean, somebody can glean bits of wisdom from even Harry Potter.
Or Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Especially Spider-Man.
Actually, yeah, come to think of it. Because poor Peter. Huh.
Oscar Wilde, too.
Yeah. E. Milne. I mean, you can easily get some good information out of Pooh Bear, because, I mean, why not?
Sure. But what's capital is the reader's ability to judge what's good information and what's not.
Yeah, there is that. You know, I'm gonna do something here a second. I'm gonna run some math for a couple of seconds. So let me see. Average walking speed is 3 miles an hour times, let's call it let's call it 8 hours a day, for no other reason other than can. And do that 6 days a week, because you have to keep the Sabbath holy.
Is walking considered work?
I'm just willing to go with it. For 8 hours a day. Right. Okay, so 24 times 6 days a week is 144 miles in a week. So 144 times 52.25 is 7524. 7524 times 40 years? If I've done my math correctly, and I'm pretty sure that I just did, that would mean that in 40 years, this group could have managed. All right, was I looking at 3 miles? Yep, 3 miles an hour. According to my calculations, if I've got this right, that's over 300,000 miles.
What's the circumference of the Earth?
Not that. That is greater than the distance between the Earth and the Moon. It's like almost double. That's almost a round trip to the Moon. Let me see. Average distance to the Moon. Oh, I'm sorry. I take it back. I take it back. Distance to the Moon, average, 239,000 miles. So to the Moon and a little bit back. Okay. Oh my God.
Walk me to the moon.
I mean. Oof.
I wonder if Moses had one of those. When you see the tourists at the Louvre, you've got the tour guide, they've got this little flag, and all the tourists in the group, they have to follow the flag.
I don't even.
Don't tourists, not over there. Those are the Saccabees. Don't follow the Saccabees. Follow me. Follow the red one.
No, I got you. I remember having seen these kinds of things.
Don't worry, we just saw the Saccabees an hour ago. No, we're not turning in circles.
That's just wrong.
But be reminded, I don't know why everybody's taking literally 40 years, because in Hebrew, it's 40 days and 40 nights, or 40 years. It's just a metaphor for, we don't know how long it was, but damn, it was long.
So that actually leads into a good point then that I was hoping eventually to kind of get over to. If the Bible says something And people are taking it as a bedrock foundational item, as facts for themselves.
Why?
Because that's what they were taught to. If that's what they're doing, then why should there be any different editions? Shouldn't it just be one edition, one version, with the correct context all the way through? Maybe even, a double-paged thing, the way that Shakespeare's plays have got the original writing on one side and the translation on the other side, so that you can understand what's going on through the whole thing. Because most of us don't read ye olde English anymore, because 500 years removed. What are you going to do?
There is a version of the Bible out there literally translated from Koine Greek, the New Testament.
Okay.
And there we have the unequivocal translation that the tale of the good servant is actually the tale of the good slave, because I forget what it is in Greek, but slave is slave in Greek. There's another word for servant.
There are a number of them, but we've said it on so damn many occasions. A lot of it really just depends on context.
Well, it depends on the reader.
I mean, I can't exactly argue with that, but
it's hard to, because basically somebody will follow by rote a book because somebody is just not thinking for themselves. They're letting somebody else do all the thinking for them. That's the rock hard bottom.
Yeah, there's that. And Stephanie's pointing out, correctly so, their beloved King James version was translated from a not very good Latin translation. And I don't believe that I can properly pronounce this one. The Vulgate? Vulgate? I don't know what.
Vulgate is Latin. It's a Latin version of Koine Greek, Common Latin, which eventually became French, by the way.
Oh,
but yeah.
Oh,
if you can read French, you can read medieval Latin text because it's written in Vulgate, the vulgar Latin.
Wow, damn. How wild. Yeah, and as if I remember the term correctly, quote unquote, vulgar language name, usually doesn't that translate as basically common use language, as opposed
Crude.
to like, well, crude, yeah, but meaning like the way that you just talk familially, meaning with people that you just have a day-to-day conversation with, as opposed to the equivalent of like high language, where everything's spelled out and it's very exacting in terms and using expressions that maybe aren't used in just common everyday talking, because who uses that highfalutin language in just common day-to-day talk? Am I thinking of that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of like our slang. I mean, there's tons of terms that we would say, but if we're writing, unless we're writing about people speaking slang, would never use. And then there's Swiss German. You don't write that shit down.
Swiss German.
Because written in Switzerland, the German part, what they speak, they write in formal German always, but Swiss German's a dialect,
Oh,
an unwritten dialect. Maybe some people write it. I don't know.
all right.
That exists everywhere.
No, I get you. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm reading part of what's going on over here. Seekers put in an interesting piece. I'm not going to go tappity tappity to double check and verify the piece that's here, but if you copied and pasted, and I have no reason to think otherwise, the right piece, Seekers also put in here a piece from Revelations 22, 18, and 19. And I'm going to quote it. For I testify to everyone who hears the words of the prophecy of this book. If anyone adds to these things, God will add him the plagues that are written in this book. And if anyone takes away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part from the book of life, from the holy city, and from his things which are written in this book. Wow. So this is very much a don't Xerox this page too many damn times, because sooner or later you're going to screw it up. And if you do that, I'm coming down on your head.
What if you sit on the photocopier and just slip that in between the...
You want to end up with glass in your ass? That's your business, man. I'm not getting in the middle of this. I'm not going to send you down to the nurse's office for that, because no way in hell. And if you get printer toner into those cuts, bad moment, man. Don't do that.
It's spelled tattoo.
I was about to say. That would, my God, that would, Jesus, these people that used to do that, I wonder if anybody actually ended up with an ass tattoo from ink toner that got caught. Oh God, this is a bad moment, man. This is getting late at night for me, and now the coffee is actually kind of making the head run, and that's not a good moment.
Well, crazy late for you is crazy early for me. So
I know.
I'm kind of in the same boat.
I know. Yeah, it's just not going to work out well. So briefly, then back on the topic at hand, and we'll see about wrapping up here. The number of times that we have seen these preacher folks go ahead and do exactly that. They get in the middle of into the middle, usually a screaming match, or at the very least, these preacher type people are the ones who are usually screaming, which doesn't seem to make any kind of sense to me, because they're trying to hammer home whatever the point is, and they're yelling and screaming, and they're using the Bible quotes. And then, and a lot of times, especially with these street preachers, a perfect example, where they'll be, I call him a kid, college age personality, who's just like, well, yeah, I mean, that's all well and good, but just a couple of passages later, you've got this line, and here, let me open up mine so I can show you, and give them some other thing about, for instance, it could be one of the ones about completely and utterly destroy the city of whatever it is, or take the child and bash their head against the front gate because they're drunk or don't want to pay attention and listen to you, or Or, it's okay to just pretend to intentionally murder your kid because God will teleport him away and put a goat in its place, even though you really seriously, truly meant to kill your kid. I mean, and then we're wrong for pointing out these absolute horrid things. I don't see why that's our problem. I don't see why we're wrong for pointing out these atrocities.
The Bible was never meant to be read.
Well, it's kind of a dick move to write something down that's never meant to be read.
Yeah, well, that's the four versions of the Gospels. It's basically a pulpit, pulpitting for dummies. Because if you have a population who's not willing or able to put two and two together, the dissonance between the versions, whatever the preacher's preaching, he's got a message to pass, and he can just pick and choose from whatever version he wants that best suits his sermon. And it was, for years, it was literally forbidden to translate the Bible.
True. And then
it's kind of like
did.
Today, the Quran, there's only a few, I think it's about 20% of people actually speak Arabic who are Muslim. But the entire world, the Islamic world, they're obliged to memorize passages from the Quran, even if they don't understand them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
man,
they're 700 years late, but that's basically how Christianity was in the medieval 13th until about the 13th, 14th centuries. It's about the same way.
Yeah. And there's definitely something to be pointed out about that. The idea that the Quran, there are groups that still teach the Quran as the only way I can really describe it would be memorizing flashcards, but it's just in a book. You don't read the text because you don't read the language that's there. You just get taught to memorize whatever the pages are supposed to say.
Like our education system.
In some cases, yeah.
But hey, don't think. It's bad for the economy.
And worse yet, when that meager piece of educational material is turned around and pointed out where it's wrong on a philosophical level. Don't know that I'm really putting that correctly or not. Suddenly we're the bad people. We're the horrible people. We're the ones that need to shut up.
Yeah, and their argument is basically, how dare you question me or my imaginary thug standing behind me.
How dare you show me my reality as being wrong? Because if it's wrong, that means that I'm wrong, which means that everything that I've ever done is wrong, which means where is my worth as a person?
So by all means, continue being wrong. Because admitting to being wrong is suddenly gaining the ability not to be wrong anymore.
Yeah.
Every book should be a survival guide in one way or another, and the Bible is a piss poor one.
I don't think that that's true, because there's some.
Well, every book. I'm not talking about fiction, of course.
Well, I was about to say there's some game manuals from old Atari games that probably shouldn't qualify as. But then again, the first thing that was starting to come to my head was the manual for the game Adventure, which has got a sword and dragons in it, and I suddenly just realized, oh, I'm going in the wrong area, because there absolutely is survival information in there so that you don't get eaten by a dragon.
Yep. And Spider-Man is a great survival guide for Spider-Man world.
Yeah.
But religion is trying to tell us that their book is essential for the quote-unquote real world.
Except it's not.
Full of imaginary threats and dangers. We have a hard enough time as it is without all that shit.
True that. True that. I'm starting to have a moment where I'm really starting to feel the spin down really starting to happen for me. So I think it's probably best suited that we go ahead and see about just wrapping up right about here. I don't have anything to really add at this point, and I don't even have a last statement that I even want to make. So I'm pretty well good for anything. Brigid, anything that you want to finish off that you didn't yet?
Going back to your 5-minute freestyle,
Sure.
James Dobson was very traumatizing to me. The focus on the family. I had that pushed on me all through like middle school and high school. Yeah.
I'm going to have to listen to that later.
Yeah. The long and short of it was over at the shop, there was some educational books came through for homeschooling from Focus on the Family, and yeah. No, I didn't buy them. No, I didn't destroy them. I did what I had to do with them because that's what I'm paid to do. But I mean, I had to like it. Keep that in mind. And I know that you kind of ended up, late to the game, but was there anything that that you wanted to finish off with, Joseph?
Well, going back to Moses in the desert and comparing that to the Louvre, every time I go to the Louvre, I see these tour guides with their flags, and I've always wanted to one day just go with like wearing a trench coat and fill the inside with different flags, and then I just find a target tour group. I'm gonna go to the front, pull out the right flag, and lead them to, I don't know, Pink Paradise. Pink Paradise is a strip club.
And, I can't believe I'm going to admit to this. I have never been to a strip club. And I don't particularly care to.
Hey, Richard Feynman did his best work there.
Richard Feynman did his best work with a glass of ice water, I think.
Yep, in a strip club.
No, it was in the middle of a press conference with NASA, but I mean, it's entirely possible. I don't know. I wasn't there with him.
He even admits to it. There's tons of stuff on YouTube, but he would go to after there was a strip club next to his university, and he would go to review his students' papers after a strip club.
Feynman was the type of personality, man, that I absolutely believe that he would admit to that, just if nothing else, even if it was false, even if it was just made up story, just to watch everybody else squirm and twist in the wind while he just sits back and has a good laugh. I could see that in him. But, what do I know?
Conclusion, watch some Feynman videos.
That's fair.
And that's a book you can quote.
That's fair. So let's go ahead. We'll do that. We'll get our collective tookuses out of here because, yeah, I'm definitely spinning down. Everybody, thanks for being with us, as always. We hope that you had yourself a good time and you got something to think about for the week ahead. And on top of everything else, those of you that are dealing in North America where it's cold, sincerely hope that things stay safe for you. Don't end up too cold. Please, we very much want to keep you around. Joseph, glad you're able to make it. You have a good morning, and with any luck, we'll see you next week.
And yeah, I'll try to be earlier, but yesterday was just killed me. Yeah, well, sleep well.
I appreciate it.
And have a great week.
You too, man. And I keep telling you every time, man. You show up when you show up. You don't. It's perfectly fine. If you need to sleep in, man, I'm not gonna hold that against it. It's not like I'm gonna withhold any money from you or nothing.
I did sleep in.
Okay, he's got a good point. That's fair. Seriously though, you have a good week.
Okay, take care, man.
Brigid, we started before the show started. You had a great opportunity to go ahead and give me an audio test. I don't know if you want to make that your screw you for the week, but you're more than
Sure,
willing.
why not?
Sorry.
I said, sure, why not?
I mean, you're more than welcome to make it too.
Elise Stefanik, go fuck yourself.
Go ahead, tell them why.
Because she's simping to be Trump's VP pick. I already know what she's doing, and she's not stupid. She knows that everything that she spews is not true. She's just sucking up.
That's fair.
She knows better.
There's evil for you.
I was about to argue with you, but I don't think that I can. Not in good conscience. You got a second? Because otherwise, I'm gonna throw one.
Go ahead and throw one.
Whoever it is that caused the next Trump trial to be pushed off of my birthday. I don't know who did it. I don't care who did it. Screw you. I wanted the next trial to be starting on my birthday next month. Screw you, man. Screw you. I was so looking forward to that. So looking forward to that. But no, can't have nice things. Apparently. So there's that. Oh, and before we get properly done, can we just have just a collective laugh at all these people who apparently are no longer virology experts, who are no longer economy experts, who are no longer experts in things like unemployment or petroleum prices, but now apparently have all kinds of knowledge about how fraud trials are conducted and how much money is or isn't going to be put anywhere before an appeal process starts to happen. I love all these people that think that they just know everything about court. I don't know everything about court. I know very little about courts. All I know is you people are just stupid because ain't nobody knows courts the same way that people who have actually been reporting on courtroom processes. Come on, man. Just stop being stupid.
It's the equivalent of armchair martial arts.
Yeah.
And these people are passionate about the law like I'm passionate about space travel.
Yeah. And Mooncheeks, I know, but I wanted to make sure that the automated closed caption system that would, of course, trigger all kinds of whatever generates traffic our way, and I wanted to use that against it because I mean we have like no traffic anyway. The point being is that there's so many people right now who are just like, oh, the appeal, no, not a single dollar is going to go anywhere. The whole thing, and it's like, yeah, the people that actually know anything about all this stuff have been saying, yeah, that amount of money, that $83+ million, yeah, that's going to get paid already into an account to hold it safe until an appeal goes through. So that money's coming away anyway. And you know, I'm the personality that's going to go ahead and side with the people that actually have expertise in this area and trust what they're saying. So I adore all these people that seem to think that they know everything. Dunning-Kruger runs wild on X.
Yeah, it does.
It's one of the few times I've actually called it that.
The quest for the illusion of certitude.
Exactly right. So, you all have yourselves a great week. Please stay safe, stay warm. And if you're traveling, please, no traveling sideways. Be attentive to the weather conditions. Don't do anything stupid. Be in touch with us. Take a swing over to the website, holycrapthevlogcast.com. Just stories about stuff. All of our contact information are in the show notes so that you can do that, or swing over to the website. You can also get the audio version of the show when we get around to putting out, new audio episodes. It's all done on a volunteer basis, so it happens when it happens. And sorry, we can't exactly pay Dalan to do it, so he gets around to it when he gets around to it. Beyond that, if you'd like to drop a voicemail message, phone number for that is 859-HCTV 554 859-4288-554, and we will look forward to talking to you again come next week. No idea what the topic will be at that point, but you know what? We'll be here. We'll be here. So until that next time, as always, I wish you all the peace I no longer have. I wish you the strength that I've learned. Wish you well. And as always, my lady, we're very close closing into 19 years. Not just yet, but still, I am still in love. Well, Matane Fujin, I love you. I miss you. Dream of me. So until the next time we're together, everyone, as always, good night.